now they're basically sitting in the big banks and insurance companies where they went to bail them out as they were failing back in 2007, 2008. But at some point, they're going to come out into the economy in force. Right now, the stock market and the bond markets are at all-time highs because of those newly created dollars. And people think that's a good thing. But it's going to come down to a retail level where the things that you need to live on start exploding upwards in price. And that's going to become a real problem, Alex, because when the currency loses value, you're disincentivized to save. And saving is how you become wealthy. And, of course, you could say this is why the U.S. as a whole is becoming poorer and the middle class is being wiped out.
Again, once they also start accelerating spending, that only throws fuel on the fire. What is your gut? Kind of go back to your speech at Casey Research this last Saturday. Where does your gut tell you this country's going? We know it's going to collapse. That's what all the armored vehicles and martial law preparations are for. But I see this as a global meltdown that's coming. When do you think it's coming? Will it come slowly or quickly?
Well, I think we're on the edge of the precipice right now. And I say that with fear and trepidation because most of the 300 million people in this country want to produce more than they consume and set aside the difference. They understand intuitively that that's how you keep the wolf from the door. But that said, I think we're in very, very big trouble at this point. Actually, when we go back historically, I'd say that the United States peaked back in the mid-'50s. That's when we were in relative terms of much, much more powerful than all the rest of the world put together. The value of our stock and bond markets were 3 or 4 times the rest of the world put together. We produced 90% of the world's cars, 90% of the world's airplanes. All of this has changed. We've come a long way from producing the 1959 Cadillac convertible to making little econoboxes. That's all people can afford to drive.
It was all swindled away.
It has been. It's all we have is receipts for the financing of the warfare state and the welfare state. 2 things that are antithetical to the idea of America. In fact, Alex, I don't even say I live in America anymore because America was a fantastic idea, a unique idea, a wonderful idea. But it's vanished, and now we just live in the United States, which is really just another of 200 other nation-states that cover the face of the globe like a skin cancer at this point. And there's really not much difference between the U.S. and other countries, sad to say. In fact, we're less free than a lot of other countries.
And all the university studies show that we're a police state, and it's getting worse fast. The establishment obviously thinks that they're going to convert into a pure tyranny as if that's some desirable destination. Well,
that's right, and it's why I recommend that people diversify themselves internationally and diversify politically, because your biggest danger today, as big as the economic and financial dangers are, and they're huge, your biggest danger is a political danger, what the state can do for you, do to you. So it's important that you diversify so that all your assets aren't under the control of your own government, and you yourself physically have a crib that you can go to if this place turns into 1933 in Germany, or 1917 in Russia, or 1973 in Vietnam, or 1959 in Cuba. This happens all over the world, in all countries across space.
And we know the Cloward and Piven socialists are on record saying, yeah, we engineered it, and when it comes down, we're going to sell total socialism as the answer. Can you imagine the hellhole America will be, Doug?
Well, actually, the average American at this point no longer believes in capitalism and free markets and free speech. he really believes in bread and circuses.
That's right. Doug, stay there. I want to come back to you and ask how you were such a visionary. What woke you up so early? We're talking to the Trailblazer. Stay with us.
You heard the discussions all over the radio. You couldn't believe what you were hearing. You trusted them. You felt betrayed. Your emotions began to consume you. Outrage set in. Then, nothing. Days turned to weeks and months. Then, you've forgotten. But they haven't. They're still monitoring your every move. It's coming.
What's coming?
Monitor blockitpocket.com. Or will you forget?
The feds are trying to ban your right to own body armor. It is crucial to purchase your body armor before it is too late and another one of your rights are taken away. KD Armor has the most affordable Level 3 armor on the market today. KD Armor withstands up to 7.62 NATO rounds. Don't have your own body armor yet? Hurry before it's too late. Order yours at kdarmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it. Get some.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Nanoparticle parasites, termed viruses, will only infect the iron-poisoned, copper-depleted population. Parasites require an iron supply in the host to thrive and replicate. Just as chemical poisons, parasites are propagated via the food and water supply and vaccines. Those born after 1945 have the vaccine parasites. The vaccine parasites have a virulence level that will trigger mass activation now, due to iron accumulating at an unprecedented rate. This is why disease, symptoms, and conditions are exploding in prevalence. Disease is caused by the same underlying condition, iron poisoning and low copper status. Measles, Ebola, enteroviruses are nanoparticle parasites. So when the officials say to prepare for pandemics, it is because they know of attempts to release virulent parasites into the population. And they know the vaccine parasites are about to activate on a mass scale. This is the plan for expedient extermination of the population. For further information, go to unveilingthem.com. That's UNVEILING them.com. Unveilingthem.com.
That's the sound of your door being kicked in by an intruder with a single kick. Criminals know that your wooden door frames are weak and your alarm system can't keep them out. That's the sound of the same door now protected by the Door Sentinel. Standard locks, deadbolts, and alarm systems can't prevent forced entry. Harden your door and door jamb with a Door Sentinel. Protect your home now at MySafeDoor.com. Go to MySafeDoor.com for a special limited time offer. The Door Sentinel, your home's first line of defense.
My Magic Mud is a tooth whitening powder that removes plaque and detoxifies your mouth. It's safe for your enamel, giving you a beautiful polish and a dentist-like clean after every use. My Magic Mud is also the perfect remedy for pain caused by sensitivity. It strengthens your teeth and gums for a strong, healthy smile. The ingredients are 100% natural and it's safe for children. Simply brush with My Magic Mud right before bedtime for a cleaning you can count on. Visit mymagicmud.com.
Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Don't nobody.
We'll be getting into the Putinization of energy with Doug Casey coming up. But Doug, the Ministry of Defense, the Department of Defense, all of them in the last 5 years have put out reports saying collapse is inevitable. The question is when. There's over 2 quadrillion in derivatives out there. That's even in the Wall Street Journal. For folks that don't know, that's probably 100 times all the real assets in the world. We're going the way of Rhodesia, where you lived. We're going the way of the Weimar Republic, undoubtedly, and you say we're on the precipice. Government is running around like fire ants that have been disturbed, gearing up for what it looks like the apocalypse or something. They are setting up the new currency and capital controls. They tripled the price to renounce your U.S. citizenship. How did you, way back in 1978, with the International Man, envision all of this? I mean, what woke up Doug Casey?
Well, at some point, I figured out that the best survival strategy for a human being is not to act like a plant. And I'm afraid that most people, especially most Americans, because we've lived in a charmed life. We've lived a charmed life. It's like we've won the cosmic lottery being born in the United States during the 20th century. But things change. And as a survival strategy, you want to be air mobile. You want to be able to go anywhere and do anything to take advantage of opportunities wherever they may be. But most people have kind of a medieval peasant mindset where they're afraid of anything that's over the next valley because perhaps the media told them that there might be dragons, so they should be afraid. So I've always had an expansive, outward-looking approach to making the world my oyster. So it's a psychological attitude, first and foremost, Alex.
You've lived in 10 countries, and I want to spend some more time on that coming up, and you've got a project, I know, going on in South America right now that I want to see sometime. But looking specifically at your prognosis as a forecaster economically, why you say we're on the precipice?
Well, it's because in the real world, actions have consequences, cause has effect. And from being a free market society when this country started and being a beacon for the rest of the world for free minds and free markets, over time we've become encrusted with this barnacle infestation of regulatory agencies that stop things from happening and impose huge costs on anything that does happen. So that at this point, we're now an extremely highly regulated, extremely highly taxed society that's about to suffer from catastrophic inflation, which is going to wipe out people's savings. So a collapse, I'm sad to say, is inevitable. Now, life will go on. I've been in countries when they've collapsed, and the real wealth, or a lot of it, still exists. It just changes ownership, but it's very unpleasant and inconvenient and dangerous for the people that are there while it's happening.
And now we see Homeland Security announcing that they're going to be tackling climate criminals and that they're going to be watching the Tea Party. Why do you think the Homeland Security's made the libertarian movement or anarchic capitalist the number one enemy?
Well, that is interesting because, Republicans say they believe in the free market, but that's a lie. They just don't believe in social freedom. And Democrats say they believe in social freedom, but that's a lie. But they definitely don't believe in economic freedom. So why do these people hate the libertarians who believe in both economic and social freedom? Well, I guess it's because we really don't believe that the government serves very much of a useful purpose, unlike the Republicans and the Democrats. So I think that's why they really hate the libertarians. But you mentioned climate change before. I've been an amateur geologist for most of my life. When I was a kid, first thing I wanted to be was a paleontologist, dinosaurs, and that led me to being wanting to be a geologist. I read everything about that.
Hold on, I want to get your take, Doug. Long segment coming up. Doug Casey, CaseyResearch.com. Amazing website. Everybody should check it out for all the intel and reports and on where he thinks the safest, best places are to leave if you are exiting the former United States, the former America, now a subsidiary of Goldman Sachs. So stay with us. We're going to talk to Doug Casey straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones.
We're on the march.